the English stage were Henry Howard and Sir Thomas Wyatt. So Thomas Wyatt and Henry Howard, who is also called as the Earl of Surrey, these two people together developed the sonnet form, and they took their influence of the sonnet form from the Italian sonnets of Petrarch. Wyatt and Surrey. Who is Surrey? Surrey is the Earl of Surrey, that is Henry Howard. And Earl of Surrey, Henry Howard, had royal links to the family of Henry VIII. Henry VIII had 6 wives, and Henry Howard was the first cousin of the second wife of Henry VIII, that is Anne Boleyn, and also the 5th wife of Henry VIII, that is Catherine Howard. He was the first cousin, and this is how he was called as the Earl of Surrey. So Henry Howard, who is also called as the Earl of Surrey or just Surrey, along with Thomas Wyatt, together brought the sonnet form on the English stage. And they took the influence from the Italian sonnets of Petrarch. Now, who is Petrarch? Francesco Petrarch was an Italian scholar and poet. So from these Italian sonnets, Wyatt and Surrey together developed the sonnets, and Shakespeare later used and popularized the sonnets and made them very famous, so that these sonnets that Wyatt and Surrey had developed, they came to be called as English sonnets, Elizabethan sonnets, or Shakespearean sonnets. So in English we see that Wyatt and Surrey bought the sonnets from the Italian or the Petrarchan form. And later these sonnets were, the Italian sonnets I'm talking about, later these Italian sonnets were also used by the later English poets like John Milton, Thomas Gray, William Wordsworth, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, and so on. So when English sonnets were introduced by Thomas Wyatt in the early 16th century, his sonnets and whatever the form he bought, Thomas Wyatt, the Earl of the Surrey was the one who gave the rhyme scheme to the sonnet, who gave the blank verse to the sonnet. So Wyatt was the one who developed it, and Surrey was the one who added the form to it, like giving blank verse. What is a blank verse? Blank verse is a poetic form when all the lines are unrhymed and they are written in iambic pentameter. That is called as a blank verse. And together Wyatt and Surrey both contributed to Richard Tottle's Miscellany also. I spoke about Richard Tottle in my yesterday's lecture on Google Classroom. I gave a list of all the important songs and sonnets which are written under Tottle's Miscellany, which is a very important work published in 1557. So Henry Howard and Thomas Wyatt both contributed their poems to Tottle's Miscellany also, their sonnets to Tottle's Miscellany also. So you have to remember about Shakespearean sonnet that Shakespeare popularized it, but Wyatt and Surrey bought. And if you divide Wyatt and Surrey also, Wyatt was the one who wrote the sonnet and Surrey was the one who added the rhyme scheme and the blank verse to the sonnet. The form was given by Surrey. But it was, however, later, Sir Philip Sidney's sequence, you must have heard about Astrophel and Stella, that was published in 1591. This was the work that started the English vogue for sonnet sequences. And after Sir Philip Sidney comes William Shakespeare. The next 2 decades saw the sonnet sequences by William Shakespeare, then Edmund Spenser, Michael Drayton, Samuel Daniel, William Drummond, and so many others. So all these sonnets, the ones that these writers, Shakespeare, Spenser, Drayton, were using all these sonnets used by these Elizabethan writers, along with all the writers that I mentioned earlier, the later writers, John Milton, Gray, Wordsworth, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, all took their influence from the old Petrarchan tradition. You have to remember that. And these sonnets generally treat of the poet's love for some woman, except for some Shakespeare's sequence of sonnets. All other sonnets talk about the poet's love for some woman. So, what is a sonnet? What is the form of a sonnet? The form consists of 14 lines, and the 14 lines are structured in 3 quatrains. What is a quatrain? A stanza of 4 lines is called a quatrain. So, the form of a sonnet consists of 14 lines and 3 quatrains, and lastly comes a couplet. The third quatrain, the third stanza, generally introduces a sharp turn, which is also called as a volta. This is also a very important term. Third quatrain always consists a sharp turn in the poem, which is called as the volta. But in Shakespeare's sonnet, you will see this volta comes in the last couplet. You know that the sonnet has the form of 3 quatrains, right, and then a couplet. So in other sonnets you will see the volta or the turn, the twist, the thematic or the imagistic turn coming up in the third quatrain, but Shakespeare was the one who brought the volta in his couplet, the last one, which usually summarized the theme of the poem or introduced a fresh new look to the entire theme. So all the sonnets are mostly written in iambic pentameter, and Shakespeare's sonnet 116, if you see, Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds, that is a very important sonnet, and it illustrates the typical form of the sonnet. You should also know for knowledge that the prologue to Romeo and Juliet is also a sonnet. You will see in Act 1, Scene 5, between lines, I guess, 104 to 117, this prologue is written in sonnet. Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet prologue is written in the form of sonnet. And also Henry V play, epilogue of Henry V is also a form of sonnet. And what is a Spenserian sonnet? You must have also heard about a Spenserian sonnet. So it is also a variant on the English form. It is just a variant of the Shakespearean form, which was named after Edmund Spenser. And the rhyme scheme of the Spenserian sonnet is ABAB, BCBC, CDCD, EE. And this is written in terza rima. Now, what is terza rima? Terza rima is again a rhythmic verse stanza. It is Italian name. Terza rima is an Italian name, and it is also a poetic form. It consists of an interlocking 3-line rhyme scheme. Okay, it has, why terza? Because it consists of 3-line rhyme scheme which interlocks, and this terza rima was first used by the Italian poet Dante Alighieri. You must have heard about this name, Dante Alighieri. So that's all, I guess, about the Shakespearean sonnet and the Spenserian sonnet. I hope you have followed the important details. Thank you.